Hi everyone, how are you today? In this video we're going to talk about point cloud properties and point cloud attributes. To start changing the point cloud's properties and attributes, it is fairly simple. You just have to go right here in the project menu and then find your point cloud, which it will be by default in the point clouds folder. Just open it and select your point cloud. Now I can see my point cloud has been selected and I have my properties tab that has opened. Here I can see the position of my point cloud as well as its rotation. By default, you will not be able to edit either the position or the rotation. If you wish to be able to change either of those, you will have to go into action and transform your point cloud into a resource. Now, if your point cloud is georeferenced, as it is the case here, I would not recommend doing this. You can keep it as a source and make sure you don't move it so it keeps the actual original position. However, what you can do is play with the opacity. By default, it will have an opacity of 1, just like this. And if you want, you can get it down to an opacity lower to be able to kind of see through the point cloud. By default, I'll leave it at 1. Second thing is the attributes. Most point clouds will have a default type of RGB. So that's red, green, blue, and it's the default real-life colors. Okay, if I press escape, we can see this is the grass, it's green, this is dirt, it's brown, and so on and so on. If I select it back, I can change that attribute to match something else. You will see that some point clouds will have a default type of intensity. If your point cloud does have that information, it will be a fade from dark gray to a lighter gray that will represent the colors in their gray version. It's kind of like watching a movie in black and white. Now you can change from there to other types. The most used ones are going to be classifications. So if I click on this, and your point cloud has the information, you will be able to see the different elements and you will be able to hide them or display them. For example, if I don't want to see the vegetation anymore, I can hide the high vegetation, medium one, low one. And so now I only have what is interesting to me. So this is classification. You will also see elevation, which is one we kind of use a lot. Here you will be able to change the elevation range to have the top being red and then the bottom being blue. Here, for example, I've set it so that the bottom is completely blue and then the top is red, so you can see the elevation and where the cut is, so what is at the same height and everything. You'll also be able to use a color one, which means that the whole point cloud will have a similar color. This is really useful if you're trying to compare two point clouds of the same place at different stages. For example, if you have a building being constructed, you can have the older point cloud with one color, for example, blue or red. Like you can just change it here, it's like blue. And the newer point cloud with another color, and so you'll directly see what the differences between one and the other are. And finally, the last one that can be really useful is the composite. So that means that it will be a composition of all of the others that you can play with. So if you want to have the classification a bit and maybe a bit of elevation as well, like you can really play with those. Like if you don't want any RGB and all, you can play with those to have kind of both together melting, and you can decide which one are enabled, which one are not, and so on and so on. Of course, there are other types. You will find an article in the description down below explaining every single type, what it does, what it means, and what are the different settings that you can use for each.